Do you ever worry that you're canceling a guy? Like, this guy's a monster who we don't need to feel bad for, right? Cut and dry. It's okay. Fuck this dude. But there are other people, like right now, Shane Dawson's getting canceled, right? And if you guys don't know, Shane Dawson did kind of this like shock jock comedy 5 years ago. I think there was some blackface involved. I listened to a clip of him last night. The story goes like this. I guess he's doing something for Instagram. This little girl, 11 years old, comes up to him and she's like, "What are you doing?" This and that. He's like, she pulls out her big dick. She's got more Instagram followers than he does. It was like 125,000. I don't know how much that was back in the day. And then he describes her as this like sexy cheerleader, right? But the language he uses as if he thinks that she's hot, right? Not, "Oh my God, these creeps are following her." It's more like he agreed with them is the way he did it. And I don't know if he's a creep or if he's pretending to be a creep and it just fits in this like shock jock thing that he's trying to do. Or like, I have a hard time interpreting it, right? And I view it through my own lens, which is I've said a lot of nothing that bad, but I've said my own fucked up shit on this show. And I'm like, sometimes people act like goofs to get attention on social media.
And it depends what, like, I'm not familiar with that guy at all. I don't think I've ever really watched his content, but like, what's jumping out at me as an example of like a shock jock pedo thing is Jim Norton's character, Uncle Paul, for decades on the Opie and Anthony show. Every time, some gross story about pedophilia would come up, he would pretend to be his pedophile character, Uncle Paul, where he'd be like, "Well, sure. Well, she's asking for it." Like just really reprehensible things, but it's like he's clearly mocking a pedophile. He's mocking the kind of arguments that they would use, where it's like, "Look at her in her little gosh begosh shorts," like that kind of shit. And it's like he's clearly mocking the mentality of pedophiles. So I don't know what his vibe was, but
So do you worry you cancel really someone who's not actually a monster, who's maybe just I don't know?
I mean, Shane Dawson's an interesting case because obviously he was around at a time when YouTube was a very different place. I mean, many of you guys were too, and it's hard to exactly recollect what was going on at that point. But Shane Dawson was always a very shock humor guy, and I do personally believe that a lot of the stuff that was actually uploaded, with his knowledge, of course, that stuff I do believe he probably did for the sake of shock value. In hindsight, that a lot of that stuff has aged terribly, particularly with regards to the rather pedophilic comments. And I haven't once again been following it too closely, though I do know that he got tweets from Jada and Jaden Smith. Because of some of his comments that he made towards Willow at the time, who was once again a rather young individual, and I don't know how old, but young, very young.
Can I insert? I know the details on that
with Will Smith's kids.
No, so what? I think it was 2015. That part don't quote me on, but this part I'm right on. He pretended to masturbate to a poster of this girl, Willow Smith, when she was 11. Right? That doesn't age well. That's never good.
That's never going to age well. That's never going to age. That's bad.
Now the Smiths have given that some attention. I don't know their name. What's the mom's name? And I think
it's Jada and Jaden and Will and Willow, because they kind of like name their kids after each other.
Well, you can understand how I struggle. So I think Jada is maybe the mom, and Willow is the kid, and Jaden is the movie star, right? The son, and so the mom and the brother are going at him. I don't know that Will has said anything himself, but it's hard to rationalize away masturbating to a poster of an 11-year-old.
Well, let's just hope they're not in Rewind together at the end of this year.
Oh my goodness. Or actually that would be good content. Let's see Will beat up Shane. That's where my money is. He's 50, but I still think he's got it.
I feel like it was just like a year ago everybody was raving about Shane Dawson every time he would drop a documentary, and they'd be like, "Oh, this is so good." I haven't watched any, but Like it would trend on Twitter. It was so popular.
Well, they're very well made. They're very well produced documentaries, and they do have like a decent amount of insight, I suppose. But at the same time, if you dig deeper, there's nothing truly revelationary about them, I don't think. I liked them back in the day. I did make a video like discussing them, and I think people have now started watching that video again because they think it's about the drama right now. But
what is the Onision story? I feel like I don't know it.
I don't know a lot of it either. Yeah.
I mean, Onision. It's a very long, complicated story, which is why, as Taylor mentioned at the start, my videos together well over 3 hours. So it's hard to condense. Basically, I think it's around 2011, 2012, he's been making fairly controversial content on his YouTube channel, and also been behaving rather inappropriately with minors and people who just turned of age. And I think basically it's all kind of built up, and in 2019 there was this big moment where a lot of people came forward with all their various stories together, and suddenly everyone was like, oh hey, this guy is seriously fucked up.
Did we talk about Jenna Marbles yet? Oh, good. Finish your thought.
Oh no, yeah, we haven't spoken about
has the show talked about Jenna Marbles? Well, she kind of got canceled, shut down her channel.
Wait,
I mean, yeah, that was hard. That was harsh. I mean, just kind of sad, that whole situation.
Apparently she did. Who's the girl with the superb ass? The super bass chick. I think that's the right one.
No idea.
Nicki Minaj.
I think she did Nicki Minaj impressions, and she used a lot of Tanner to do what you might call blackface. Like, it certainly wasn't like the minstrel shoe shine white lips thing or red lips. It was just an excessive amount of Tanner, but you might call it in the blackface family. And it was enough for her to be like, fuck it, I'm done with social media. I'm going to go sleep on my pile of gold, and I'm calling it quits. She took down about 2 billion views worth of videos.
Whoa.
Yeah, with a B, right? That'd be my channel about 6 times.
Yeah.
And she's done, I guess. I wonder how much of that was just her being towards the tail end of her career. You know, would she have powered through this if she was still killing it?
Sometimes you just need a reason, I guess, and maybe that was the sign to her that she needed to hang up her boots, I guess.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. It's she took it as like, this happened, and it's a good time to get out, I guess. So
yeah,
the cancel train is never going to stop. It's never going to hit a stop and then be like, all right, and this is the level of woke we're going to stay at forever. Like we're literally like a month away from debating about whether or not Mount Rushmore is something that needs to be destroyed.